Oh boy, I've been sitting here waiting. And Philly Godfather, boy, I'll tell you what, man, he's got a lot of wolves out there right now. Everybody's coming for him now, man. Where's your boy? Where's Dallas Godfather? Can't wait for the Dallas Godfather. Where is he? Where is that sons of? What's going on here? I can't wait to get a hold of this guy, man. All right. Let's get my guy on here, Philly Godfather, who, as always, answers the bell for us. And he joins us here now, here with Big Sills here. All right, man.
What's up, Dan?
Everyone's like this. All right. What's happened with your Cowboys, man?
It's week 5. I know the 49ers look like the greatest team that ever played football, but if you go through history, the teams with the best record, after week 5, usually don't win the Super Bowl. I mean, the Eagles last year had the best record. They lost in the Super Bowl, and most teams don't even make it to the big dance. So, it's a war of attrition in the NFL, as we all know. And as of right now, the 49ers team, barring any major injuries moving forward, are going to be tough to beat. But don't count out those Cowboys yet. It's still early in the season.
All right, hang on here now. So, do you still have the Cowboys winning the NFC East?
Well, I bet them at the beginning of the year at 16-1 to win the Super Bowl, and I got them at plus 200 to win the NFC East. Now, they're only 2 games behind, so if the Eagles trip up, they're going to be on their tail, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult now, losing that last game to San Francisco, but it's the NFL, and as you all know, week to week, it's the NFL soap opera. Anything can happen.
Who's playing better football right now? Brock Purdy or Jalen Hurts?
Now, Brock Purdy looks like Joe Montana. What, are you kidding me? That kid's on fire. He's like the 3rd favorite to win the MVP now. His odds have risen to the top of that board. It's Mahomes. It's him. It's, a couple other guys, Herbert, Hurts. But as of right now, the way that team is put together, I mean, they're so fluid on the offensive side, running the ball, passing the ball. And like I said, as long as they stay healthy, they're going to be tough to beat, the 49ers.
I love it, man. My guy's doing the show from a limo. That's how you do it right here with Big Sills, man. You do your hit from a limo. Only the Philly Godfather could do it from a limo. All right, we move on here. Well, wait a minute now. The injuries to Jalen Carter and Darius Slay, you think that moves the money at all? Or do you think that because the Jets don't have a very good passing offense that it does anything with it?
Well, the Jets have a good pass defense. Now, their run defense isn't that good, so that's what scares me about the game. But you're getting 7 points if you're looking to bet the Jets here. There's going to be some wind. There's going to be some rain, so that should help them slow down that Eagles offense. I just don't know if they can stop that run. If they can stop the Eagles' run game, which is the 2nd best in the NFL in rushing yards per game, then they got a chance of staying within the number. Now, can they win the game? I don't think so. But they did beat Buffalo, first game of the season. 2 of the 3 losses came by 5 points or less, and that loss to New England, they had that safety at the end, or else that would have been a field goal as well. But I don't know. I think the Jets can stay within that 7 points here. The Eagles, if you're looking to buy the Eagles, you're buying at the highest price. You're buying into an inflated price. The whole world, as of right now, is betting the Eagles here. They're going to tease them down to basically -1 or a pick 'em. And all the public's money going to be all over the Eagles here. But I think at +7, 7.5, Jets got a shot to cover that spread.
All right, let's get into by the way, last night, Kansas City, let me ask you this. When you watch a team and you start evaluating and you look at the trends, you and me call them trends. Most other people call them stats. They don't understand the difference. This is kind of what you've been doing the last couple weeks. So when I say Kansas City to you, is it me? But Godfather, when you look at KC, don't you go like this? In the last 5 years, that's got to be the worst Kansas City team, talent-wise, that they've had there because, I don't know, man, Mahomes throwing picks. He just doesn't look the same right now. Lowest completion percentage in the last 5.5 years that he's had. That team looks more beatable than ever before.
Yeah, and let's be honest. I think he's a little banged up still. I think the team's a little banged up. So as they get healthier and the season progresses, they'll look better and better. But, yeah, they're not the same Chiefs team that we've seen in the past couple of years. when they were healthy. Last year they were the fourth or fifth best healthiest team in the NFL, and this year they're really not. So, but then again, Andy Reid likes to put that team in church mode every once in a while and just squeeze out some wins without overexerting themselves. So you won't really know how good this Chiefs team is until the playoffs come around.
See, this guy rolls around like The Rock, man. He's getting ready to roll into Caesar's Palace, put about $1 million down like the furniture guy down in Houston. He's ready to rock, man. You guys are so lucky, man. Most of the time you get your information from a guy who sits in a Volkswagen. This guy here, he is in a limousine. Next game, Washington at Atlanta. Desmond Ridder did a really nice job last week. He had to, because I thought they were thinking about maybe yanking his ass. Washington, I don't think we really know who they are yet. How do you see this one?
I mean, Washington's defense isn't the best this year, and they're a little banged up going into this game. And Desmond Ridder at home is pretty good. I don't think he's lost a game at home since he's started playing his career at Atlanta. So I like Atlanta here, -2.5. I think they get the job done. I think they're the better team. I think they're a more complete team. I think their defense is better, and their run defense is one of the best in football.
Somebody just made a crack. Who's driving, Dak?
With the brain cans he's had, he might go through a couple of red lights.
You know what? I'm almost embarrassed asking you your opinion on Minnesota, Chicago. I mean, you don't have to spend a lot of time on that. Or wait a minute, games like that, is there some qualities about games like that you bet on, or you're just like, it's so inconsistent right now what's going on?
Well, I mean, they lost their number one weapon, right? The Vikings.
Yeah.
So it's a downer for that team. And Chicago has a little bit of momentum. They're coming off a mini bye there. They shocked everyone as 6-point dogs last time out and won the game outright. I kind of like the Bears here a little bit, plus the points. I think they got a shot at winning this game. I think Minnesota knows their season's over. At 1-4, and the way the Lions are playing, they look like they might be one of the toughest teams in the NFC. So I like the Bears here a little bit at +3.
See, what you guys don't know, I know who's driving. Mercedes and Chandelier. Just remember I said that. Mercedes and Chandelier are driving. All right. San Francisco at Cleveland. Could there be Watson's not playing, so obviously, from what I understand, that thing went from 4.5 now to 10.
Yeah, it's going to keep going. You might see it go up to as high 11, 12, 13 by game time. I just don't know. And Deshaun Watson used to be a great quarterback. I don't know if he's played that good this year to warrant such a big move in the market. Is he worth 8 points? Is he worth 7 points? Browns still have, arguably the best defense in the NFL. If you look at their metrics, opponent yards per play, opponent yards per rush attempt, opponent yards per pass attempt, top 2, top 3, number 1. So that defense can keep that team around. If a little bit of weather rolls in, that'll slow down that San Francisco offense. And coming off such a huge win, such an emotional win, and the way they beat the Cowboys, you might see a little bit of a soft spot for San Francisco. It's tough, betting on a team with no quarterback. I think they got Texas Ranger Walker playing back there for him, the Browns. But if it gets a little higher, I'll probably be looking to take the dog, especially with that defense. And if I see some weather rolling in.
This guy's going to be drinking Louis the 16th on all you guys here once he collects that Cowboy bet. I could see him. He has to be a Louis guy. All right. Carolina at Miami. Do we see a big number here for Miami?
I mean, it's up to 13.5. They're the best team in the AFC East.
Wow,
I mean,
13.5.
That number's up there. It's a big number, man. And it's Carolina, as bad as they've looked all season, the back door's open. At that, they could be down by 20. They score a touchdown at the end for no reason, and you lose your wager. If anything, you might look to tease Miami down a little bit, or maybe bet them in the first half, because I think they come out strong in the first half. Might be able to lay a better number there in the first half, but I can't bet this game either way.
Okay. India, hey, you and I have been waiting on this team, this Jacksonville team. But, boy, the Colts have been playing pretty good, right? I mean, you know what? The two coordinators that were in Philadelphia, I've been actually surprised that they look like they may be actually better head coaching candidates than coordinators on offense and defense. Steichen looks like he's doing a really good job there. How do you see that thing, man, between those two?
I mean, the Jags are coming off a huge win, right? Coming back from London. Divisional game, you're getting 4 points. I kind of like the dog here, plus the 4 points. I know the Jags are probably going to win that division, but it's not going to be an easy game. And, you play football division games. Both teams know each other like the back of their hand. So anything over a field goal here at plus 4, I like the dog.
He's actually at the White House, just so you know. Okay.
No, I'm not. No, they're not letting me nowhere near.
Oh, they would never let you anywhere near that, man. Absolutely not. They'd be no. You're right. After some of the shit I've seen you post, they wouldn't let me or you near that place. You're damn right. We'd be searched at Dulles. All right. New Orleans at Houston. Houston's playing pretty good ball.
Yeah. This is going to be a tough game. Saints got a good defense. I didn't bet the game. I think the number's right there. I don't think there's an edge either way. But Houston is a little dangerous. I just haven't found any edge yet. I don't think there's an edge on either side there.
Hey, real quick, I told everyone today, how come every time when I watch Biden at the mic, it reminds me of Lou Holtz talking about Notre Dame? Like, Hamas, Notre Dame, the Golden Dome. No, Iron Dome, not Golden Dome, Iron Dome.
Yeah.
New England Raiders.
Tough, man. I mean, the Patriots have let you down all season. I think they know the season's over too. When you're a player, you sense things, and maybe they don't play as. I like the Raiders here. I laid one on them. The line's up to 3. Anything under a field goal, I think the Raiders get the job done.
Yeah. Arizona at the Rams.
It's a big number, man. 7. And they're coming off that loss against the Eagles. And anytime you play a defensive line like the Eagles, the following week your offensive line is going to be banged up. It's a lot of points for a divisional game, man. I like the dog plus 7. I like Arizona plus 7.
Detroit at Tampa. Are you buying Detroit?
Yeah, I like that team. They're solid. They've had one of the toughest schedules in the NFL this season. They got one of the better point differentials on the season. One of the better records in the NFC. They're a complete team, offense, defense, one of the strongest offensive lines in football. Great. They all love Dan Campbell. They play for him, and they got some weapons. They got some game changers on that team, and I think they make the playoffs. I think they win their division, and I think they cover the spread this week as well.
Dirty D, Philly Godfather, still hanging with the boys.
Still early, man. You're not in trouble until you're in trouble. It's the 5th week of the season. I mean, the year I had Tampa Bay at 50-1. In week 12, they were 7-5 on the season, and You there, Dan?
Yeah, I'm here. I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, did you hear me about the Tampa Bay?
Finish that up. Go ahead. Repeat that,
yeah,
please.
I said the year Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl, I had them at 50-1, and after week 12, they were 7-5 on the season. Everybody was laughing at me. It's still so early, man. You can't really get worried until come playoff time to see what's really going on.
I say this to Eagle fans. 5-0. This is to you, Philly 502. 5-0, 21-1. What's it get you? Nothing. Here we go. All right. What's it get you? Nothing. All right. Buffalo at the Giants, and that puke of a quarterback, Daniel Jones, isn't playing in the game too. I mean, that thing looks like a total shit show up there too.
Yeah, I mean, how can you bet the dog here? They're so bad. Buffalo needs to win. I think Buffalo wins this game convincingly. They might go out there and win by 30 points in this game. I think Buffalo's the right side.
Let me do the let me see here. Dallas at the Chargers.
Tough game, man. Tough game. Cowboys looked like they were all banged up
And
after
Eckler back.
Yeah, and I got Dallas futures, but at +3 with the Chargers, what scares me a little bit is their defense is so bad, and their coach might be worse than Mike McCarthy there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so Dallas has to win this game. This is, they got to come out and play here, but you're going to against Justin Herbert, who can sling the rock. Oh, man, +3. It's not there yet. It's at 2.5. I'm seeing some 2s. It's actually going the wrong way. I think the Chargers are at the right side at +3. I think the Chargers are, you're getting 3 points. I think that's the right pick right there.
Let me just say this to you. No head coach should be named Brandon. You don't name Buck or something like that, or Bill. You know what I mean? Your head coach shouldn't be called Brandy or Brandon. I mean, I don't. How about that decision in Minnesota he made, when he went for it on 4th down on his own 24 with the lead. They didn't get it. And if it wasn't for the incompetence on the other side, they lose that game.
It's some of the play calling. His decision making has to be some of the worst I've ever seen in the NFL. Man, it's bad.
Let me get a few college games here tonight. Colorado, Stanford. Dion's right. 10 o'clock East Coast games. Whoever came up with those ideas, no wonder they're closing the Pac-12 down because of the decision making that Larry Smith made when he was running as commissioner. He was a complete dope. But Colorado now has a chance to get their record to 5-2, I believe, on the season. They're taking on a Stanford team. Emmitt Smith's son actually is not a bad ball player. He plays on that Stanford Cardinal team. How do you see this thing? Yeah,
they're 1-4 in the season, but they've had trouble against teams that rank in the top 25 in yards per play metric. But they've moved the ball against some of these defenses on the year. Played Arizona tough. They beat Hawaii. Colorado's defense ain't that good. I think they're ranked 82nd in the league in opponent yards per play. I think Stanford can stay within the number. The line opened up 10.5. It's up to 13 now. At 13 or better, I like Stanford here. I like the dog here, plus 13.
Two games here. Oregon, Washington, very underrated football game, but two highly competitive football teams. One of these teams could play in the Final Four for a shot to play for the national championship. I mean, and you got two candidates, Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. here, that are two Heisman Trophy candidates. So this is a pretty good-looking football game.
Yeah, Penix right now is the favorite at plus 210. Williams is at, I think, plus 280, and Bo Nix is at 6-1. So you got two quarterbacks here. A lot of implications. Heisman Trophy, who's going to win the pack? I think both teams are better than USC. Oregon's got one of the better defenses in the league. From the beginning of the season, I told you guys I had 5-1 ticket on Washington to win the Pac-12. So I'm hoping they win this game and cover the spread. The line's actually moving the right way. Washington open -3. It's up to 3.5 in some shops. Don't be surprised if this game closes -4. I think Washington's the right side here.
Does touchdown Jesus take a knee on Saturday against USC?
I don't know, man. I think Notre Dame's the right side, but I'm not looking to bet that team. Their coach has made some bad decisions as well. This
USC can't play defense.
No defense at all. But that kid, Williams is, he's the real. He can beat most defenses. I'm not looking to bet the game. At anything under a field goal, Notre Dame's probably the right side, but I'm not looking to touch either side here.
All right, man. So you're still sticking with your boy Dak?
Well, I mean, I got no choice. I got futures on them. As long as they make the playoffs, I'll make money on that ticket. You got to remember, when you're betting futures, you just want the team to make the playoffs. Then you can bet the other side and make yourself some free money. That's what future betting's all about. It depends how healthy they get. They look like they're banged up. Their offensive line is back, but they're still not 100%. And, San Francisco definitely looks like the team to beat. The Eagles still,
Are they better than the Eagles?
Oh, yeah, they look a lot better. I mean, let's be honest. Who looks better than San Francisco right now in the entire league? The Eagles still have some holes, but when they start running the ball and they start imposing their will on teams, they look fierce. Detroit looks good. You can still get a good number on Detroit, like 9 or 10-1. But I think San Francisco, as of right now, they're the monster in the NFC.
The only reason that the Eagles are where they are coaching-wise is because McCarthy sucks and Philly has the cheerleader, Nick Sirianni. I mean, the cheerleader really doesn't do anything. He was so bad. Always remember this. He was such a bad coach that they took his play calling duties away when he was 2-5. He said, go sit down in the corner over there. Here's your pom-poms and your megaphone, and you can start hollering and wearing T-shirts and Bryce Harper shirts. Because other than that, we don't need you to do anything else. I really don't have a lot of respect for the guy.
I mean, you can't argue with winning, but I know Andy Reid had fired him when he was with the Chiefs.
Matt LaFleur won a lot of games too. Do you really think he's a good coach?
Yeah. No, to be honest, though, that Eagles rushing attack. I mean, you got that offensive line. You got Jalen Hurts. You got the other kid, Swift, Philly kid, running the ball. When you can run the ball more than your opponent, you're going to win the game, 75, 80% of the time when you get more rushing yards. And that's what's guided them and helped them this season because their pass game hasn't been there. They look like a different team passing the ball this year than they did last year. Jalen Hurts still looks off. We're going to find out what he's made of this week against the Jets because they have one of the better pass defenses in the NFL.
Okay, last one here. Do you think that Eagle team would be 5-0 with or without Nick Sirianni? Would it matter? Would they still be undefeated if he was there or not there?
Well, they had a pretty easy schedule, so I don't think it would make it
a winner yet, except for the Bucks.
Yeah, and they're not. By the end of the year, they might only have 6 wins on the season. The Bucks. So I don't think it would have made a difference. But he's the last 2 years. He's exceeded all expectations, so you can't really argue with success. We're going to find out again this year during the playoffs how good of a coach he is.
Matt Nagy won the NFL Coach of the Year award. Was fired 2 years later.
I had him that year. I had him that year at 20-1 to win Coach of the Year. Think about that. How lucky I got on that ticket.
Holy cow! And 2 years later, he was blown out.
Yeah, this year I got the coach from the Miami Dolphins, McDaniels, at 20-1 to win Coach of the Year. We're betting at the beginning of the season, and I also like the Hurricanes. Took my plus 3.5 this week. I think they win the game outright. I don't think UNC's played anyone all season, and if they don't turn the ball over 5 times last week, they don't lose that game. I mean, they were big favorites. They were 20-point favorites, so I think they could bounce back this week and actually win the game.
You know what people were giving me? Of course, Mario and his decision, but I just showed people. Even a pro football coach who makes $20 million didn't even know what the down and distance was last night. And Sean Payton calls a timeout on 4th down. You turn around, you're like, why are you calling timeout on 4th down? That guy makes $20 million a year. $20 million a year. And you know this too, Godfather. He does not want to coach Mr. Sierra. He just does not want to coach Mr. Sierra. It wants nothing to do with him. Hey, get this. Listen to these numbers. Real quick here, listen to these dead cap numbers. So this year, if you move off him, $107 million of dead cap money. 2024, $85 million. 2025, $50 million. 2026, there's an out, but it's still 31-2. They are stuck with this guy for the next 3 years. And the amount of dead cap, no one's going to trade for that contract. And no one wants the guy playing. He's finished.
No, something's really wrong. It might be up top. I don't know what it is. But I don't even think the team likes him. Like you said, I mean, he's calling his teammates from block numbers. That's never a good thing.
Well, I think he has blocked numbers because he may be calling other people on Sierra. And that would be a tragic mistake. Hey, my friend, I appreciate you doing this, man. Look at this guy. Calling from a Rolls Royce. Look at this man punching away. He's in a limo giving you the inside scoop for this weekend. You should all be privileged. Congratulations to you. How can they see you this weekend, my friend?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Philly Godfather. You can stop by the phillygodfather.com. And we got the sports betting show on Sirius XM channel 159, Sports Grid, JAKIB Media, and we live stream it on my Twitter account as well at Philly Godfather.
Cannolis for all. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you coming aboard.
Good luck, guys.
You got it. That is our friend, Philly Godfather. How you doing? Keep the drinks going. Hey, Godfather, how you doing? My boy, Philly 500. I love it. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Football and Hooters, the perfect pair.